These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, December 29th, after the Celtics win over the Toronto Raptors. Night 2 of a back-to-back, took down the Pistons on Thursday. The Raptors on Friday, shorthanded, might I add. No Jason Tatum, no Kristaps Porzingis, no Al Horford. But they still pulled out the win after a run from the Raptors in the second half of the game. Final score was 118-120 in favor of the C's. Luke Kornet had a big game. Jaylen Brown had a big game. I'm sure we'll talk about all of it, but Sam, thoughts?
Yeah, undefeated at home. Tried really hard not to be undefeated at home, and yet they still managed to win this game. Remarkably bad start to the fourth quarter. Just everything that could have went wrong. All of a sudden, one of the McDaniels twins, the worst one,
Jaylen,
cooking them. He's cooking them. He had 13 points in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable. But overall, good Luke Kornet game. Good first half from him.
Great
He
Luke
followed
Kornet
it up
game.
pretty solid in the second half. Nice to see him do well as a starter. That's something the Celtics kind of needed, especially he needed after, kind of losing minutes to Nemi there for the last week. Since he hurt himself, he really hadn't played. And he comes out
not played.
28 and then 3 blocks. 3 blocks, a lot of blocks. Could have had a fourth one if they didn't call him for a foul on the shooter play at the end of the game. So pretty good
That should
game
have been
from
a block.
Kornet. I thought it was a block too, but I don't know. The rules with that stuff is complicated. So
Weird.
it's one of those
This
things
was-
where it's just like,
yeah.
whatever.
First time Kornet played since December 12th, and he played very well. Some rough minutes in the fourth defensively. You could tell he was exhausted, as one might be, having not played in a basketball game since December 12th. But overall, there's a lot of people on Twitter mad about Luke Kornet, which is kind of funny considering he was very good in this game. Everyone got really mad because he was, not great on defense in the fourth quarter. He couldn't keep up, blah, blah, blah. Guys, he's a third string center that had to start because they were down their first 2 centers. Neemias Queta wasn't great in this game either. Like, Luke Kornet was clearly the best player in that spot to play in that spot. I don't get why people complain about it. He had a great game. 20 points, 9-11 from the field. Like you said, 8 rebounds, 5 of them offensive. A big tip out on the rebound after some bogus ref restart the game crap at the end of the game. He crashed the glass and tipped it out to make sure no one could get it after Siakam missed his second free throw. But this was easily Luke Kornet's best game of the season. Might have been his best game as a Celtic. It's the most points he's ever put up in a Celtics uniform. He killed the Raptors off the ball. Anywhere, the Celtics were able to draw to, Luke was in the perfect spot to cut and get easy points at the rim. He was just feeding off of the talent of the rest of the team effectively. It was, you send 2 at Derek White, Luke Kornet's under the basket. You're going to send 2 at Jaylen Brown, Luke Kornet's cutting. Like anywhere you went, Luke Kornet was ready to get the ball. And defensively, outside of obviously that fourth quarter, I thought he was really good as well. He did a great job of staying positioned in the right place. Joe Mazzulla talked about after the game how he plays very well in their system, and he said that before the season too, and it played true in this one. He had a huge block on Dennis Schroeder in the corner at the end of a shot clock that got the crowd amped up. Like, this was
They needed it. It was a big spot where they needed to stop, and he had a great closeout. So yeah,
this was a Neemias Queta lovers sick game. They're pissed. They're not very happy.
the whole nation of Portugal just collapsed. Those poor people staying up till let's see, roughly like 3:30 in the morning their time, if not later, to watch this man play. And then they just got this dude Kornet out there having a
4:12
monster
a.m.
game. Yeah, right
4
now. But
Oh
the
yeah, I
game,
see what you mean.
yeah. So
Yeah.
big Kornet game, good for him. Another clutch Derek White game. Wasn't the best Derek
Yeah.
White altogether game. He was still pretty solid. Like, he's just continuously solid, which is more impressive today since so many guys were out. Means he had more attention, and everybody's been talking about him. So every opposing team is like, okay, watch out for this guy. Not that they, don't watch film, but big 3 off a step back on a broken possession.
That was
and he
nuts.
had the game winner.
You know what's
Right?
even more
That
impressive
was the
about that
game
3?
winner.
Which one was the game
The
winner?
layup?
Game winner. Effectively, yeah. It was the really late one that ended
The
up. Yeah,
winner.
okay. What was even more impressive about that shot is he finished 2 of 10. Like, he was not having a good shooting night where he was in a rhythm. He just pulled it out of his ass. Like that step back three. That was nuts. And even on a night where he didn't shoot well, like, I didn't notice Derek White taking a bunch of bad threes. Like, these looked like
Oh
all
my
good threes
gosh.
from him. He shot 3 of 9 from the field. 3 of 9 from 2, 2 of 10 from 3, 5 of 19 overall. Terrible shooting night. However, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. So, like, kind of ended up making up for it, especially when you consider he had a massive fourth quarter and really helped will them back into this game. It just goes to, like, he had an impact even on a bad shooting night. This guy doesn't quit on this team.
Yeah, I didn't listen. This was not a game that I watched super duper close. I did have it on the whole time, but it wasn't like yesterday. I think I used all my energy yesterday. But I didn't feel like a lot of his misses were noticeable. That's just not it's not a characteristic
Yeah.
of Derek White. He got blocked a couple times going to the rim. Like, he had some misses at the rim that I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe he missed that. But if you asked me coming into this, how many threes did Derek White take? I would not have told you 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's because they were in the flow of the offense.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make
They
sure.
were good threes. They were good threes.
I obligatorily have to check in on that, to be fair. 2 of 10 is not an acceptable 3-point number most of the time.
Let's see what else we got. Great Jaylen Brown game. I mean, obviously, can't skip over that. Obviously, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 11 of 16, 5 of 6 from 3, 7 turnovers. Not great, and so that's, I guess, where you can get after him a little bit. But was still a team high plus 12. And in the first quarter, he was on a mission. Like, he was not having anything from this Raptors team. He continues to be the best player of the past month for this team. The playmaking has been huge. His ability to find that. I will say, and this is not a criticism, this is the next step. The next step is not telegraphing every pass you make, because you can see where Jaylen Brown is going with the ball whenever he has, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll make the right read, but in tandem, like, let's say this water bottle is the guy he's passing to. If you're watching on YouTube, he will get the ball, drive, look at the guy for 5 seconds, and then pass him the ball. And this is, again, not meant to be a complaint, but the next step for Jaylen Brown is,
oh my God, 7 turnovers.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah. It was, and one of them was, let me drive really quick, make it really obvious where I'm going, and Gary Trent is just going to jump the passing lane. And so that's the next step for him. But again, overall, phenomenal game for Jaylen Brown. Huge on a night where the Celtics needed him to be, because, I mean, no Tatum, no Porzingis. You're going to need some scoring somewhere.
Very efficient Jaylen Brown game. I'm always here for that. But this was also, like, low-key, the lights are too bright for the Celtics game. Like, if you just look down the sheet, it's like, oh, wow, like, Derek White, not as good as I thought. Drew Holiday, I noticed during the game, but he wasn't very efficient. Pritchard, 3 of 10, not the best. Like, you just go down, you're like, oh, wow, like, a lot of the key guys missed their shots, and it was the other guys that stepped up tonight. You had a good game from Hauser, finally, 3 of 7 from deep. Fine with that from what he's been doing lately. O'Shea Brissett was 1 of 3, but Delano Banton 1 of 1. He had an alley-oop. Nemi 3 of 3. Svi 2 of 3. You got good efficiency from the guys that don't typically give you anything, so that's a bonus. But overall, this was a game I think we all kind of saw. Tatum's important to the Celtics. Porzingis is important to the Celtics. Al Horford's important to the Celtics. Yeah. I don't think it's the Celtics aren't deep game, which is good, because if it was that, they would have probably lost. But it is wow, those guys make things way easier for the rest of these guys, and everybody can eat when everybody's out on the floor. But when the defenses can focus a bit more, maybe certain guys struggle. Maybe the weaknesses get exposed a bit. Those 7 turnovers worry me. I don't know if I'm going to read into a 5 of 19 Derek White game when he's been completely reliable all season, but when he gets a little bit more attention, the efficiency drops. It's not the greatest thing. That being said, I don't think in the playoffs they're going to all of a sudden key in on Derek White, so it should be fine. But just little things.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action in NFL. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including you got spreads, you got your player props, you got over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think this was a bad efficiency game because the defense stepped up. I think it was a bad efficiency game because he missed a lot of shots he usually makes, at least in my opinion. Maybe some of the twos were the defense sending a little extra pressure at him, but the three, excuse me, at least the threes were, I mean, he missed pretty good looks that he makes almost any other night. So I'm not too worried about that part of it. Peyton Pritchard didn't have a great shooting night in general. However, he did shoot 3 of 8 from 3, which is 37%, and he did have 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So he was solid in this one as well. O'Shea Brissett, big rebound in the game, had 7 boards, including a clutch defensive stop at the end of the game. Joe Mazzulla put him in for defensive purposes to stop the Raptors, and he stuffed, not blocked, but like he completely shut down Scotty Barnes at the rim on a rotate, which was huge. You know, pretty much sealed the game for the Celtics outside of the refs' buffoonery at the end. Hauser was back a little bit, made 3 of his 7 threes. You could see the touch coming back. 9 rebounds for Hauser as well. He's getting active on the glass in a night where the Celtics were missing their bigs, which was good. Svi made a 3, which was huge. Finally, Banton came in the game through what might have been the worst pass I've seen an NBA player make, and then was subbed out after 2 minutes. So that's what you got from Ben. I don't know if you saw. I know you didn't watch very closely.
I think the food might have got here right when that happened.
That's all right. I'm gonna pull it up real quick just so you can understand what I mean. Oh, maybe it's not going to show up. Do I need to turn off ad blocker? Maybe do I have ad blocker on? I do. Yeah, here we go. When I tell you this was perhaps so say this was really funny. I turned to Bobby and Justin. I was sitting and I was like like a complete state of perplexion. So you can see Delano Banton gets into space here, has Jaylen Brown at the top of the key. Sam, he goes here. What do you think should happen? He has a lane to Jaylen Brown. Just give me the simplest form of an explanation of what should happen here.
I think he takes another dribble and hits Pritchard with a bounce pass. I think that would be the best, like, make the defense stretch out move.
Well, you had the bounce pass correct, except he just
Oh, I do remember this play. I just, didn't remember it being him. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. This was not a great, and then
mind you, this was after Jaylen Brown made like 3 straight threes.
Yeah. You're trying to get the ball to the right person, but not exactly how you want to do it. Drew Holiday, another okay game. He wasn't as efficient. No one was really efficient from 2 in this game, or at least as much as you want to see. I don't
know how the hell they ended up shooting almost 49%, because if you look at the box score, I guess it was Kornet and Jaylen, but
yeah,
aside from that, not a very impressive game.
Yeah, you got. I mean, it's very small, but like 1 of 1, 3 of 3, and 2 of 3 from Banton, Cadis, Fee also adds up a little bit as the bench. I think the biggest, I mean, we never really talked about the collapse. They were killing the Raptors in the first half. The Raptors looked awful. And I think the collapse was equal parts the Celtics getting scrambled defensively with the addition of Jalen McDaniels for some reason. Like, Jalen McDaniels came in, and for some reason they, like, whether it was they were comfortable leaving him open or allowing him to work in space because they, like, how they let Drew sink off of Isaac Okoro in the Cavs game. It's almost like they kind of wanted that for him, but he made them pay by making the right cuts, making the right reads, and hitting his threes in the right spots. So that was frustrating. And then their shots stopped falling and the Raptors started falling, and momentum, and Joe Mazzulla said after the game, he's like, this team's big on momentum, and they capitalized on it. Again, I'm not one to complain about blown leads, especially in a spot where you're down guys. It was frustrating to not see them bounce back, though. That's always what I look for. I always look for the bounce back. And in past games, you've seen them bounce back and go back up, by 7 points, go back up by 10 points. But this was one where they were never able to recreate the separation that they got in the first place. The Raptors constantly stuck in, and the Celtics pulled out a win. So again, I'm not going to complain because they did pull out a shorthanded win, but it just never felt like they reinserted themselves into the driver's seat after they fell behind a little bit. Does that make sense?
I mean, I know what you mean, but I still think it was good that they closed this one, especially without Porzingis and Tatum, two guys they can post up and rely on. Again, shout out to Derek White for that. Jalen McDaniels, by the way, who averages 2.8 points per game. I had to double check.
That is,
I don't know. I stand by that. If you're there, you need to you've proved that you can have a big lead. Quit screwing around. It was comical how quickly they watched that lead go up into smoke. It was like literally a minute and a half, 10-0 run. The lead was gone.
They lost momentum. I mean, that's all it takes in the NBA. That's why I'm not like as upset about it all the time. Because like just because you showed that you can doesn't mean you always will. Like shots will stop falling. The other team's shots will start going. You'll make one mistake and it'll lead to another. Like I'm not saying it's an excuse. You don't want to make mistakes, but teams aren't perfect. And over the course of an 82-game season, stuff's going to happen. Runs are going to happen. Like it's just not. And it in the end they won, and they're what 26-5 now, 25-6, like something ridiculous. Like a damn good team.
6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tonight I'm not really going to get worked up over it because one, I kind of don't care, and two, they didn't really have everybody playing, so it's a little different. Like when it's role players out there along with some of the top guys, and it's the top guys. When it's the top guys, it makes me want to put my head in the microwave. But when it's these guys, it's just like, oh, wow, I can't believe that happened. But they also won the game, so I'm not going to be that mad about it. But I hate blown leads. I do. I think it's I know
I don't
it's
think
part
anyone
of the
likes
game,
them.
but it annoys. Well, you don't sound that fucking upset. You're just like, whatever.
Because it happens literally to every team. Every team blows leads.
Yeah,
it's a part of the game because
you want to be the best team. Like it
they
is
are
part
the
of the
best
game.
Team. They are the best team.
Yeah, but that's why it's okay to like hold them accountable. Be like, well, maybe you shouldn't blow a lead.
But they're going to blow
leads.
leads. That's my thing. I know. My thing is they're going to blow leads. So saying you shouldn't do that is useless because it's going to happen within the flow of the season. And for the most part,
they're doing it at better
happen.
times. It's not happening when there's no time left on the clock anymore, which is fine.
Sure.
It's an improvement.
All right. I think we got it all. I think we covered Jaylen. We got Hauser. Obviously, Luke. I think we are good. Shout out O'Shea Brissett once again. Needs more minutes. Very impactful when he's in the game.
He had a sick
also
mid-range, not even close to going.
That was really bad. Also, what are we doing with Lamar Stevens? Hello? Just not getting the nod. Not a fan of that one. All right. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
Miss anything? All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Let Sam wrap it up.
Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you thought of the game, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any daily uploads like this one. We do game recaps, full-length pods, trade breakdowns, film breakdowns, talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky, which I don't think ever went up. And did it go up? Okay. Whatever. And you can find all that on YouTube. You can find audio versions of game recaps like this one in full-length pods on Spotify and Apple. Follow us there for those. Right to your feed, leave a 5-star review. You can reach out to us via email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We go through all the emails on each podcast, tell you what you think or what we think of what you had to say. You can also comment what's poppin' to be entered into our, what is this, 3 times a week drawing for Impopnito popcorn, $10 gift card. You can pick from over 60 flavors, whether you want sweet, savory, spicy, or seasonal. They have it all. Great product. We would not be pushing it if we didn't like it. You can follow us on socials at Up With MCs, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is just name of the pod. You can follow us there. You can get our pregame streams as well as on YouTube and also Twitter. You can follow Jack at Jack Simone NBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.